Okay, I am back for part two. I wanted to break the video up so it's not super duper long. And basically, in the first video, I talked about how I got my miraculous $12,000 property. And in this video, I want to talk about how I was able to renovate it, furnish it, and turn it into a profitable Airbnb. So last time I was just telling you that I had this crazy situation happen where the property was first listed at like 40 or 45K, and then it went to auction, and then by some very strange, I believe was the hand of the Lord, a twist of fate, I was actually awarded the property because the bidder who won the auction didn't perform on their contract for some reason. And what was crazy about that was that they owned the property next door. So I'm not even sure what happened. But anyway, so what happens next? So I get this property, I'm like happy, and then I'm like a little like, well, what am I gonna do? Because at the time, all I had in the bank was that $14,000 or $15,000, that was set aside for a real estate investment. I know it sounds like such a tiny amount of money, but God met our needs where we were at. So I'm really thankful for that. So what happens? For 6 months, I am paying vacant building insurance. I had to get the property boarded up. I am paying some other miscellaneous bills, like maybe security system. And so there are even though the building was very inexpensive, there were carrying costs that I had to shell out for this building. And at the time, we had paid off all of our debt. When I say we, I was married at the time. I'm no longer married to that person. And so we were doing okay financially, but to me, it felt really silly to be paying these carrying costs, and I did not have a viable strategy either to exit the property or to renovate it or refinance. I didn't know much about real estate at that time, so I was just kind of sitting there like crying out to the Lord, like, Lord, why would you have me buy this building and I have to pay all these carrying costs? And again, you guys, these are 2017 and then it went into 2018 numbers. So they're really tiny. And right now I kind of chuckle because I don't think I was paying more than maybe $300 or $400 a month to carry the property. But for me, it was a big deal because I couldn't see how this was going to work or what the plan was. So I'm praying like, Lord, what should I do? Why would you have me buy this property and I can't do anything with it? And at the time, we didn't want to go into debt because we had paid off all of our debt. We didn't ever want any mortgages. So that was kind of like that self-imposed limitation. That's just how we wanted to operate. So what happens? I have a friend who works at the Inglewood NHS chapter or branch, and basically Neighborhood Housing Services, that's what the acronym stands for. And they help people get into properties who maybe they have like a lower credit score, they don't have as much down payment, and they mainly work in like blighted areas. So you're gonna find them in your big inner city markets like Detroit, Chicago, maybe St. Louis, Miami, New York. And I'm just throwing out some examples of major metro areas. I don't know if they technically have branches there, but anyway, I had a friend who worked there and she said, I know that you just got this property and you're looking to renovate it. We have a renovation product that says if you live within like a mile of the property and you're gonna develop it and do some things with it, use it as a primary residence for a while and then maybe as an investment. There were some qualifications and some criteria, but it long and short, we seem to meet all the criteria. And she was like, we haven't used this product or we haven't administered this product for a long time. So you'd be the first in many, many years. I think they did away with it in the 2008 housing crash. And she was like, we would like to bring it back for you and you all can take advantage of it. And I'm like, really? So we got estimates on what it would take to renovate the property. We went through the application process and we were approved for the construction loan. And the construction loan was about $140,000, which again, at that time, just seemed bizarre to me. But I'm actually glad that we did this process. Why? Because When you're working with bank funds on a property, they have a lot of things in place to make sure that you're working with a reputable, licensed contractor with insurance. They're going to get paid in phases, withdrawals, so you're not giving a contractor $50,000 up front and they disappear, which I had some neighbors on my street that they had something similar happen to them. So it was a really long, drawn-out process. The renovation should not have taken as long as it did. It took about 18 months, honestly, and we were making payments on the loan during this time, and fortunately we had the cash flow to do that. But the end result was a beautifully renovated Greystone property, and it ended up being a single family home. I thought when I purchased it, it was actually a 2-flat, but I don't know if it was deconverted or it was never converted, I'm not sure, but it's a single family home. And it's one of my favorite projects because I got to pick out the tile, I got to pick out the floors. It was just so fun for me, and to do that in my neighborhood where I was already living, already plugged in, very active, a very, I don't want to say central part of the community because that's kind of like, egoist, but I was plugged in. I love my community. I was very active, volunteering, advocating, working in the school. So it was just such a delight to be able to bring that restoration to such a beautiful structure. And then what happens, we had some things go on with our family situation. We couldn't move into the property right away. So we're like, what do we do? And I was like, I think I might be able to turn this into an Airbnb because I had been renting out a couple of rooms at our other property, and we had since moved in with some relatives in the suburbs. So we had one property that was rented out, and I was like, I think we can do this as a short-term rental. So I took a picture of the bathroom and the staircase, put it on Airbnb, and within a few days, bookings were rolling in. So I had about either like 10 to 14 days to fully furnish the property. So I'm like ordering things from Amazon, we're putting it together, we're going to the thrift store to get dishes. It was stressful, but it was so fun. And then when I was able to launch the property and rent it out, gosh, I cannot tell you. I can't think of many things that have been more satisfying in my life. It was really a blast, really a blessing, and I'm glad I was able to experience that. Now, if you watched another video, you will know that I have not been in control or possession of that property. Probably within the last 4 years, I ended up walking away from that property. It would have been considered a marital property in the divorce proceedings. The person I was married to, we ended up getting divorced not too long ago, and so I left that property, my magnum opus, back in Chicago. But I'm still really happy for the experience, and I'm really thankful for what God allowed me to see and do during that process. So I've since gone on to buy other properties, but I still cherish that testimony. I still cherish that just experience that I had, and it just let me know that I'm able to do I'm capable, and I can do these things, and that God is on my side, and He can make things happen using His miraculous hand. So if you want to know more about doing real estate by faith, I encourage you to check out my book that's right now in pre-order. It's called Real Estate by Faith, and it just talks about different supernatural methods and means to meet or reach your real estate goals using principles from the Bible. So I think that you'll really enjoy it, and hopefully the book will be launched soon. Anyway, I've talked a long time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.